Okay, now we're going to solve equations using the division and multiplication properties of equality. Again, this section is nothing new. You've seen this before. This should be review. Okay, I'm just going to give you a second to read through this. We've already talked about this. This page right here says that if you have A equals B and you divide one side by a number, you have to divide the other side by the same number. That's what this says. Also, same thing goes for multiplication. If you have A equals B and you multiply one side by a number, you have to multiply the other side by the same number. Okay, for this problem right here, I've got 4x equals negative 28. Now, what's happening to my variable? It is being multiplied by 4. How do you undo multiplication? You undo multiplication with division. So I have to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4, it creates 1. Not 0, it creates 1. And that's what you want in front of that x. You want a 1 there. So x is equal to negative 28 divided by 4, which is negative 7. This is my answer. Now, I can test this answer by plugging negative 7 in where I see x. Okay, so I'm going to put 4 times negative 7. Does that equal negative 28? 4 times negative 7 is negative 28. Negative 28 equals negative 28. So I know that negative 7 is my solution. All right, let's look at this problem. This says A divided by negative 7 is equal to negative 42. So some number divided by negative 7 is equal to negative 42. How do you undo division? Well, you undo division with multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 7. So this cancels this right here. So I've got A is equal to negative 42 times negative 7. I'm going to get a positive answer. So let's see here. Positive 294. Now, I can check my work. So I would do 294 divided by negative 7. Does that equal negative 42? And this is where I would just test that out on the calculator. So grab the calculator, 294 divided by negative 7, and I get negative 42. So negative 42 does equal negative 42. I know that this is the correct answer. Okay, right here, we even had a problem just like this on the last test. Negative r is equal to positive 2. You don't want a negative number or a negative sign in front of your variable whenever you have your final answer. So what I recommend dividing by negative 1. You can multiply by negative 1. You will get the same result. It doesn't really matter. Negative divided by a negative is a positive, so I get that r is equal to negative 2. So now, can we test it? Sure enough, we can. So I've got negative, and then I'm plugging in a negative 2. Does that equal positive 2? What's a negative times a negative? It's a positive. So I know that is my correct answer. Okay, so with a problem like this, I've got 2/3 x equals 18. So 2/3 x equals 18. That's 2/3 times x. So when you have fractions, remember you can divide by 2/3, but when you divide by a fraction, that is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So I can multiply by 3/2 on both sides. That cancels that. That cancels that. I'm left with just plain old x over here. 2 will go into 18 9 times. 9 times 3 is 27. So now, can I test it? 2/3 times 27, does that equal 18? Well, 3 will go into 27. 9 times 2 is 18. So 18 equals 18. That is the correct answer then. All right, so with a problem like this, you have to combine some like terms before you do anything else. So on the left side, this, and this are considered like terms. They both have variables, or they all three have variables of x. So when you combine 8x plus 9x, you get 17x. 17x minus 5x is 12x. And then I can combine negative 3 plus 15 there. And negative 3 plus 15 is 12. So now to solve for x, you can divide both sides by 12, the number that's in front of the variable. And 12 divided by 12 is 1. So again, to check your work, you would do 8 times 1 plus 9 times 1 minus 5 times 1, and does that equal negative 3 plus 15? So 8 times 1 is 8, 9 times 1 is 9, minus 5 times 1 is 5. Does that equal negative 3 plus 15 is 12? 8 plus 9 is 17. 17 minus 5 is 12. My pen isn't writing. There we go. 12 equals 12. So I know that x equals 1 is my solution. Okay, this problem is very similar. So we have some things to combine. On the left-hand side, we're going to do 11 minus 20. When we do 11 minus 20, we get negative 9. And on the right side, we're going to combine our like terms over here. 17y minus 8y is 9y. 9y minus 6y is 3y. Oops. Now I need to divide both sides by 3. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, or 1y. So then to check my work, I would put negative 3 in for each of the variables. Okay, 11 minus 20 is negative 9. 17 times negative 3 is negative 51. Negative 8 times negative 3 is a positive 24. And negative 6 times negative 3 is a positive 18. So now it's a matter of combining negative 51 and a positive 24. And you get negative 27 plus 18. Now combining those right here, I do get negative 9. So negative 9 equals negative 9. I know that y equals negative 3 is my solution. All right, with a problem like this, we need to distribute and then combine like terms. So negative 3 times n and negative 3 times a negative 2. So negative 3 times n is negative 3n. Negative 3 times negative 2 is a positive 6. Then I've got to write this minus 6. I've got to bring that down. Now I need to combine my like terms, which are here and here. Positive 6 and negative 6. Those create 0. 3n, negative 3n is equal to 21. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. And I get that n is equal to negative 7. Now, I want to check my answer. So I've got negative 3 times negative 7 minus 2 minus 6. Does that equal 21? So I want to do what's inside the parentheses first. So negative 3 times negative 9. Negative 3 times negative 9 is a positive 27. 27 minus 6 is 21. There you go.